We're taking a look today at our quiz from last week, so that way you can know and be prepared for your test on Thursday or Friday this week as you watch this video. It would be a great idea if you write down what you missed, take a look at what you missed. Even if you didn't miss anything, it'd be good to know what points were assigned for. So as I look at number one, a lot of the work in number one's been done for you. It has already been factored. So since it's already been factored, I can go straight to stating the degree. So I've got 1, 2, 3, which is a cubic. Since it's an odd degree, that tells me my end behavior will be in opposite directions. And notice there's a negative out front, so that means my end behavior will be up on the left, down on the right. To find the x-intercepts, I do need, here's where my work comes into play, I'm going to set this function equal to 0. Then I'm going to use zero product property and set each factor equal to 0. We did look for points on that. Notice it says write the x-intercepts, so those need to be written as ordered pairs. So I've got -3, 0 and -2, 0, and state their multiplicities. So -3 does appear twice. X plus 2, which gives you -2 as your x-intercept, appears once. And the important thing about multiplicity is it tells you bouncing or crossing. So I know even multiplicities bounce, odd cross. To find my y-intercept, my work that I'm showing here is I have taken my equation and let 0 be the value of x. So 3 squared is 9 times 2, and don't forget that negative out front. Make sure you do write that as an ordered pair. So once I put all those pieces and parts together, you can see my graph here. Domain, remember that's left to right, is all real. Range is down to up, which is all real. As I look at number 2 for today, it's in standard form, so it has 3 terms. It's a trinomial. It's a 4th degree. It's a quartic. An even degree looks like a quadratic on the end. Since it's a positive out front, it'll be going up and up. So the next part says factor the following. Notice I have my equation equal to f of x. I first use trial and error, and after I use trial and error, I use difference of squares. And again, make sure it's equal to f of x there in your work. To find the x-intercepts, notice I set my equation equal to 0. I set each factor equal to 0. I wrote my answers as ordered pairs, and each one had a multiplicity of 1, which means they will all cross. My y-intercept, notice I showed my work. I plugged 0 in for x, so I get 0, 36. So then I graph what I have. X-intercept of -3, -2, +2, +3. Y-intercept of 36. Everything crosses, and the end behavior is up and up. All right, as I turn the page here, it says use this graph to write the x-intercepts. Well, notice every one of these cross. So their x-intercepts will be have a multiplicity that's odd. Now you probably said 1 for each of these, but you could just say they're odd. So I've got -4, -1, 0, and 1. And notice I wrote those as ordered pairs. From here I work backwards. And so as a reminder to you, if you get -4 out as your answer, x plus 4 is your factor. -1 comes from x plus 1. 0 comes from x, 1 comes from x minus 1. Notice I did have a negative out front, and that's because look at the end behavior. It's down and down, and I have it equal to f of x. All right, let's look at long division here. So after I set it up using long division, let me remind you of this process. I asked myself, what times x gives me 2x cubed? So the answer should be 2x squared. I lined that up over top of the other x squared. I then multiply 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. 2x squared times 3 is 6x squared. I then subtract, and I like to change this to addition and distribute my negative. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed, they cancel. 5x squared minus 6x squared is a negative x squared, and I bring down what's left. Then the process repeats. What do I multiply x by to get negative x squared? Well, the answer is negative x. I multiply negative x squared, negative 3x. But then I change that to addition and distribute my negative, which is why you see here a plus and plus and plus. Negative x squared plus x squared, those cancel. Negative 6x plus 3x is negative 3x, and then I bring down the minus 9. What times x gives me negative 3x? The answer is negative 3. I multiply. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. I'm going to put a negative out front, but then distribute my negative, and when I combine like terms, I see that I have 0 remainder. So in other words, this is my answer. For synthetic division, remember, you're really taking x plus 3 and setting it equal to 0. So I get x equals negative 3. That's what goes in the box here. I'm going to list my coefficients. I do not have any missing terms. There's a cubic, quadratic, linear, and constant. I bring down the 2, then I multiply. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Add, gives me negative 1. Multiply, add, multiply, add. So if I'm just doing division, I had a cubic, I'm dropping a degree, that's how I get a quadratic. So my quotient is 2x squared minus x minus 3. Now all I'd ask you to was divide here, and so that should be the answer you have for division. And then number 6 says, is x plus 3 a factor? And the answer is yes, and you know it's a factor because the remainder is 0. That means it goes evenly into that problem.